Yeah. Did you find the place all right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a buddy that lives down the street, and I'm pretty
cool.
sure when he was telling me, he's
That's
like,
right.
Check.
Oh, you guys are good, dude. We the way we start this show is natural as the name. Naturally Gnar. Episode freaking whatever. 8. This is 8. No, 7. 7. We got Wade Glass Station in the house, dude.
Yes.
How you doing?
What's happening?
How
Glad to
you
be
doing?
here. We got a ladybug too, so we're
Yeah,
doing
that's
all
what it
right.
was with Ladybug. So
Brad Magar showing up a little late.
come rolling in.
It's all good. We're gonna work on your headphone situation here momentarily.
That's why you should be early.
Yeah,
so you can
when you show
check
up
all your
early.
stuff.
Yeah, when you show up early, we can check everything. Yeah, Wade, dude, I appreciate you coming out.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. Maybe the first time that maybe the internet has seen your face.
It is indeed. This is my cameo.
That's all
Not
right,
a big,
dude.
not a big Insta selfie person, huh?
Oh no.
I don't blame you.
No, he posts a lot of pictures.
That's
on
what I'm saying.
Instagram.
Just not these.
Just not
Yeah.
No.
not selfies. We were talking about that before the show started. Was like social media and like what we use it for. And like if you go to the Glass, I urge everybody that's watching the show to like check out the Glass Station's Instagram.
You can see my face there.
Can you?
Yeah,
Dude,
sometimes.
I dug around.
No, I'm saying you got to come in.
You got to come in. Yeah. That's the truth.
That's how you see the
If
face.
you want to
That's
see
right.
Wade's face, you got to come into the Glass Station,
Yeah.
Fayetteville. What's the best way I've always been able to describe it is diagonal from Papa John.
Yep.
Like that. If everybody knows where Papa John is in Fayetteville,
Caddy cornered. That's what that's
caddy
called.
corner. Good,
That's what.
good-
Yeah,
good
that's the
call.
word.
That is the word. We can use that in Arkansas. That's
Yeah.
a very appropriate Arkansas terminology.
Literally is.
It's on
But
the corner of Maple and College.
Maple and College, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
and Ben-
building is like from the 1893. I think was the original year that
18
building is from.
And you've been in it for like a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems like it now.
15 years this year.
That is so insane.
Believe it or not, time flies.
What do they
is
call that
some-
side of town? South of North?
South of North. Oh, is it because of the roads?
Yeah, I think something like
So
that.
that is Little Canada.
Yep.
And the roots on that we would have to look up, but on the electric box out there it says Little Canada, and I still call it the East Side because it's the East Side of College. So
Right.
I'm always been an East Side person when it comes
Nice.
to Fayetteville.
That's
I mean
awesome.
there's a whole different vibe on the other side, and that's
Yep.
not a word I use a lot, but you go to the West Side, you'll know the difference.
That's true.
That's funny. It totally
is
is
true.
like that.
That is true. And you that building was it anything before you got it?
Okay, so I got a good one here for you.
I remember this, but it's so blurry.
So it was Passages
Passages
in the 90s.
That's right,
Yes, a long time ago, dude. A
So,
long time ago.
It was about 1990-ish, and not many people have, well, some people have heard the story, but a couple friends of mine ended up kind of bringing it back to earth again. But one of the first pipes that I ever bought in a shop was from Passages in that store.
No
In the 90s.
way.
In about 1992-ish, we'll say that.
Nice.
Dude.
And so for my, I won't say my age, but a couple years ago, a couple friends of mine actually
Oh, Brady.
sent that piece back to me in a shadow box. So I've got that piece back that we got in 1992 in that building that I have like locked up in a safe now. So
No.
the first pipe that I ever bought was in that shop.
No. Dude, I've got
Wow.
to see this.
Yeah.
I have got to see this.
It was called Johnny Cash. And it was the name of it. And then every time we would cash it, we would sing like the Jane's Addiction song, cash in now, baby. And we cash it out.
Oh.
And but I still have it. I
Man.
should have brought it. That would have been a
Dude,
good
what a
one.
great
Vintage, dude.
story,
Vintage.
dude. What a great story.
So it's just hard to believe it comes full circle after the whole thing. Because, before that, we were just making our own out of whatever.
uh-huh.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
But
dude.
then, that was the first one we'd ever, and, who knows, I was 15 or whatever, 14,
Right.
15. And
What was that? Couldn't you get them at Schulertown for a while there?
I'm not sure.
Can't
but
remember.
Yeah.
There weren't many places.
There weren't many
I know,
places
there
you could get a
wasn't, but
piece in
yeah,
Fayetteville.
I remember it was like you could, but then you couldn't.
Yeah.
at some point.
Uh-huh.
Well,
They shut it down.
Sound Warehouse had them for a while. kind of
Sound
in the
Warehouse, yeah. Mission Control.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't Sound
Yeah.
Warehouse, wasn't it? I thought wasn't that what was in Schulertown? Remember they had shows there? Like, I think I saw, like,
Kind of back where the Arcegas was back in the.
yeah, like back where that big apartment or that big building is
Yeah.
now behind.
That was where where Sound Warehouse was back then.
Yeah, that's Schulertown. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they definitely had it because that would have been when I came to Fayetteville. That was one of the places we went.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But Mission Control, you're right.
Mission
They did
Control. That's the
too.
one
yeah.
I remembered. Yeah.
I know exactly where that was at.
I
Yeah,
got it. I had
they
a
sold
glass-
skateboards too, so that's how
Yeah.
we knew.
I had a little glass hammer from there. That was one of my first ones that everybody loved.
That's great, dude. But you're totally right. Like back in those times, it was that era when people were making pieces more than they were even thinking about buying a piece.
Right.
Like it was you were way more MacGyver in the thought process of how you're gonna like make a piece.
Absolutely.
I mean, we honestly, we could easily get into some incriminating evidence on this episode. What did I do in my past?
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Well, and then Starship in Tulsa was the only
Yeah,
other place.
I do remember that.
We'd take a little road trip over there, and that was where
Mhm.
you'd go snag one.
Yeah, and I feel like that there was some Oklahoma like corner of the state places that, but it's a hazy memory.
I mean, I can
with
think
that.
of one, but it wasn't like that long ago. Well, I guess it was a long time ago,
Right.
but that dude had it right on the border.
Oh yeah, but that was later on, and I think
Yeah, that was past the
There-
90s.
Okay, yeah.
I'm almost positive it was either the very last of the 90s or
Maybe
early
that's what I'm
2000s.
thinking of. Yeah, like before the big boom.
The dude had the little skate shop on College too, Daily Grind.
That was the same
That's
dude.
Travis.
No.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, I am like
And
breaking
then,
my
like,
brain.
there was like that Operation Pipe Dreams was like all around through there, like in 2006 too, and that's when like Chong got in trouble and all
Yep.
that, and, and so
right.
that's why a lot of these artists end up going by their kind of a pen name, we'll call it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Oh, right.
That
right,
started that.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they
Basically.
were basically underground. You know, like
Yeah.
they weren't going by their names because like they were outlaws.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and so now the outlaws are some of the best in the world, and they still go by those names. You know, but
Because now it's more like a moniker of, the representation of the art,
right.
you know, instead of being, trying to hide yourself or hide your
Yeah,
identity.
but I like it too. It kind of like is like like Banksy to me or something where you're like
Uh-huh.
you don't really know who I am, but you know that name.
But you know my piece.
and
Oh, yeah.
that's cool
Dude,
to me.
same with me. Like
It's legit art to me. It's cool. Like that.
I don't really know that many glass blowers, but like the ones that I do know, if I see it, immediately I know. Banjo's the first one that I think
yeah.
of. That like when I see banjo, like it's just clear. It's clear as day.
And that's funny because like he's one of the ones that I was kind of joking with you a minute ago about.
Uh-huh.
He just moved between Fayetteville and Eureka.
No, what?
Yeah, and it's kind of a joke because
Yep.
I've been trying to run him off for so many years. Is what I've been telling you.
I did not know that that's who you were talking about when
Yeah.
you said that.
Well, that's why
Whoa,
I
bro.
held it for a little bit. So
Thank you for holding it for the show.
We'll make him listen to this later.
Right, there we go.
But they know that. I mean, like, I would see him out around the country, and we would talk, and we used to hustle art because we were both just lot kids running around watching music and spreading art and the scene and the culture and the vibe and the. Don't let me use that word again.
Okay, no more.
But
No more vibe.
so yeah, he lives like 20 minutes from here now.
That is
And,
insane to me.
That was from after going from
Yeah.
Michigan to Humboldt to Eureka to Eugene, which is like, Eugene is like one of the glass capitals of the world,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Snodgrass basically
Mhm.
lives there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Banjo's in the area. I mean, as soon as he came here, we did a big heady seminar, we called it, and we brought in people from all over the country.
Yeah, I was looking at
Wow.
that in the shop. Yeah,
Pretty sick.
yeah.
I mean, I've got probably more of a display of unused pieces of his than anybody in the world, maybe.
Wow.
And now he just lives down the street, and we run into each other and go grab lunch and breakfast and
That's cool.
hang out with the fam. But yeah, it's like I said, I try to we try to protect our green space and our area and our livelihood around here. And so
Right.
they were running from the coast, and
What a great place to come.
It was like so many times they could just see the light in my eyes and the grin about where I lived, even though like I wouldn't talk good about it.
Did they visit first?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he started coming and he'd bring the
Okay, so
kids
he's been around.
and
seen
he would come and we would run around and go show
Sweet.
houses, but like hadn't spent a lot of time here before that. And like, I
Wow.
mean, then I helped him, showed him some houses, and now his place is out on the lake. Probably, I mean, like if we were on water, it'd probably only take 5 minutes to get there.
Dude,
Right.
you're tripping. Like the fact that I even just said what I said prior to this, like how recognizable his art is to me,
Yeah,
and
for
to
real.
know that like he just lives around the corner, like that's pretty weird.
All the kids know that dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
one of his, but I figured we can do that next round.
Oh, and yeah, we can pull some stuff up too, because like that was one of the things I was talking about earlier about the Instagram page. If anybody wants to see any of these pieces, like your Instagram is flooded with all the stuff that you guys get, because you do a good job of like letting people know what you guys have in the shop. Before we go too far, I want to shout out to a couple people in the chat. First off, Mark Landry is wondering why we don't have Nyjah on the show.
I know. I couldn't get up there and get a hold of him.
Couldn't get him.
Just couldn't get him.
The most popular young skater or mid-young skater. I don't even know if he's not young anymore, but like Nyjah,
He's a millionaire.
ex-gamer.
I mean, he's a
ex-gamer.
multi-millionaire skateboarder.
Yeah, he's in town.
For some reason, he's in Bentonville. You know,
Yeah.
Bentonville's just.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It brings
Who
the
knows,
people
a
in.
Nabisco commercial
We figured it out.
or Nike
It's,
or-
The
he
Mecca.
he came in for a deodorant deal with Walmart or something.
Right guard or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's great. Fairy boots. Oh, Ian Malloy. Shout out Ian. I know that he said it's trippy to see all of us in one space, like Naturally Gnar and
Oh yeah.
Glass Station. A lot of people don't know that we know each other.
Oh no,
It's
it's
right.
Like, I always joke with people. I'm like, you don't ever take a picture of these people in the same room together. That's not.
That's not supposed to happen. That's right. And then Fairy Boots SLP says that their first pipe was Sound Warehouse.
Down warehouse.
Sound Warehouse.
We screen printed in the back of your place when we had that little room.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
there was a Gnarkansas office
Little
behind.
office there.
Yeah,
That
so
was a very
right when I
short-lived
bought
time.
that building,
That's what I'm saying.
he
right
was the
off
first
bat.
person to move into that.
Yeah, that's right.
Studio.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could have been doing this there.
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. And honestly, like one of the things that's tough is like being out, having the studio out this far, is getting people out here.
Right.
You know, it's like it's beautiful and it's a great drive, and I love being out
Oh
here.
no, I got here and I'm
But-
like, find me a spot.
Yeah, right. we're gonna get Wade moved out here because it's that great, dude.
It
I
doesn't take
love
that
it,
long.
man.
I mean, that's
It's
not a
not.
commute.
It takes 35, 40 minutes,
Not
30
even.
minutes,
Yeah,
30
barely.
minutes. Yeah. And then what's this? Ask Wade about
Oh, no.
what's this? Ask Wade about the first Ultimate Glass class.
He's probably talking about that heady seminar.
Yeah, he might have missed that part. And actually, I mean, we were just talking about that, so you could
Right.
elaborate on that.
So it's kind of funny how that turned out. You know, I was out at Banjo's walking around his property and we were just having a chat, and Sam Grisman was coming to town. So he was like, all right, Sam's going to be here. So Sam is, the dog, Grateful
Mhm.
Dog,
Oh yeah.
David Grisman's son. So he's like, Sam's going to be in town. He wants to do a little jam. Let's put together something. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Couldn't
And
miss the
so
opportunity.
then, like the next day, he posts up the dates for like 3 weeks. I don't have a building. I don't have an idea what I'm doing. I don't have anything.
He heard we were doing something, right?
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, so
Here's the dates.
I go find this warehouse. We clean it up. We trick it out. We get some furniture from 410. I mean, Jay's got some Superfly furniture over there, so we had to, pimp it out with a bunch of his retro funk.
Nice.
And got another guy, Joe Peters, came in for it. Another guy got Visionary Glass. But that ended. I mean, 20 people came. We paid. We had all local food. Grisman and his crew playing the whole time. I mean, it was like quite an event. And like nobody knew where it was until the day before. Like I didn't want people rolling in there. Nobody knew about it. I mean, it's in South Fayetteville, a warehouse. Now it's a brewery.
Right.
But before we got there, it'd been vacant and it just happened to be this guy I knew that did real estate with a friend of mine, and he's just like, yeah, I got a spot. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so he ended up kind of fixing it up. We had the weather, Arkansas weather going from basically rain to snow to sleet to hail, in the week. So like this place wasn't ready, but everybody was. Most glass players are pretty nomadic and are ready for anything that you can throw at them. So anyway, so banjo shows up, Joe Peters, and then like all the Arkansas crew comes. We're going through, we're blowing through liquid nitrogen or liquid oxygen like it's going out of style.
Yeah.
we've got just an arsenal of torches just blowing the whole, you think about like a class and people think, you're going to start at this time and end at this time. Well, we would start at 10 and we might end at 6 in the morning and then go take a break take everybody nap for 4 or 5 hours and then start back again. And they built this, Ursula was the name of this piece, and it ended up being one of the most epic pieces I think ever. But the class went like 2 days longer than we expected.
Wow.
Then we shut it down. Everybody I ran off to St. Augustine and watched some Panic shows, of course, and then like other people went all these places, and then we came back and we did it in the shop in our studio, and we did like another 3 or 4 days on this thing, and so it went from like a 4-day class to like a 8-day class, and like everybody got their money's worth for sure. It was quite an event. So he's done them around the country, but that was kind of the first one around here, and it was like I said, we just went flying by the seat of our pants, and there was live music and local food and just Farmer's Table was right by where we were, and so they were serving us breakfast every morning, and those are friends I've had for 25 years, so it was just
love that place.
Yeah.
Was this, if you look up on the screen up here, was this it?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, no,
I guess if you didn't learn something, that's your problem, right?
Oh man, it was wild.
I go full screen for the audience.
You could have learned anything from some philosophy on life to art to food. If you didn't learn, like I said, you could have learned anything you wanted to. There was so many people with so many backgrounds, and it was quite an event. There's a lot of footage of that. I've got so many footage of that show. Everybody does. It was pretty wild, but
that's great. And you're saying like here's like some live music playing there.
Throw down.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
And
they're blowing in the background and then they're playing in the front.
It's crazy. I didn't know this was even happening.
Oh no, nobody knew. We were down in the hood, and it was sweet.
That's great, dude.
I like the south end of town like that. Like there's just spots in the south end of town. I wish were more. But yeah, you can get away with some shit in the south of Fayetteville.
Yeah. Because the parking lot was full, but like nobody knew. Like there was, we were taking $250,000 worth of glass in and out of there every night, just because we were packing it out before we leave, But like they didn't know what kind of hustle we had going right then. It was a beautiful thing.
That's great. That's great. And like I'm sure this is one of those things where like if spectators see it, it really blows their mind. Because like, and do you still have the studio at the shop?
Yeah,
you do.
We do.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
We'll definitely have more people come through and do more classes. And Ari, that bluegrass glass that makes the lamps, he does a lot of lathe work, and he'll probably swing through and do a class. But
okay,
there's some guys that were in Asheville that I want to invite out that have been in they've had their house torn down through the storms. I'm gonna be like, hey, I got a studio spot for you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And like have like a unique thing for them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There's a little studio apartment, and be like, hey, come in if you need a spot.
That's great. Can we talk about these pieces here since we got them in front of us? Like
they're over there gleaming.
I know, just staring us in the eye.
So probably one of the longest standing local artists is. He goes by the Ghost of Christmas. Once again, we all have, but Adam Driver, sometimes he's in Star Wars, sometimes he's running the streets of Fayetteville, but that's he does a lot of like inside out work, which is basically where you're drawing on the inside, and then you lit the glass, lens it. But he's been doing these little tanks for a while.
That is a tank. I literally did not.
I saw rockets and I was like, wait, what is that?
Right.
It's got rockets. And
That is wild. It's a tank, like a legit tank. When I saw the tracks, that's what really like stood out to me.
Yep.
But maybe we should build lamps, not bombs. But
Right.
that's just another thing. But no, he's been making these. I mean, like if you haven't seen one of these around town, I mean, the guy that he learned from is not to be found. But he used to make a little fatty like this. But
Right.
that's something that everybody's seen.
I recognize the flower.
And then just to tie it all together, one of the newest Arkansaniacs is bluegrass glass, which he makes the lamps. Basically, they're a wonder lamp. You can't really say the other word.
Oh, right. Copyright.
Yeah, all that stuff. But,
oh yeah, you can't.
You can't.
I almost said it
don't
out
say
loud,
it.
and I was like,
Don't-
I didn't get it for a
don't
second.
say
Like,
it.
I mean, we can say it, but like we don't.
Yeah, it's like the less you say it,
Yeah, it's
the
just
better
that.
it gets for his brand.
But this one is a collab between Adam and Bluegrass, and he just moved here from Humboldt.
insane.
He'd been in Humboldt forever, and he's another one of those that I would see him out in Vegas, and we'd run around and like we would just sit and grin and talk about music and this and that and the other, and I would just kind of like try to run them off, and like, you don't want to come here, and they're like, what's going, they'd always be like, what's going on in Arkansas? Nothing. And next thing you know, they're living right next door to one of my best friends.
This is great. I want to shout out this comment. Donald Cordray, does that name ring a bell?
I don't
No?
know.
Oh, you should.
Oh,
You should. He said it says my first heady piece was an Inside Out from Adam from the Glass Station about 15 years ago.
Perfect.
That's great.
That's how long we've been there.
Yeah,
So-
one of the firsties probably.
That right, like the first to come out, like and
Definitely early.
well, and he's local, right? Like he lives here.
Oh yeah.
I think that like that's a cool part is that you're showcasing something super heady local.
Right.
Like that, because like when we first met and I was introduced to this world, heady glass seemed foreign, like it seemed exotic and almost unobtainable, and it was like you were, I may say even like it, you were bringing this exotic stuff to Northwest Arkansas.
Sure.
And it was just like seeing something that had you not done that would have never been seen.
I would agree with that. I mean, because I was out running the country, like I said, going to festivals, going to see music, and like you would see it underneath a shade tree in a parking lot, Seriously.
That's insane.
Like that's where the headies were. Like if you wanted to find a heady, you went and just
You look in the corners.
you go find where a nice cool shade spot was in the parking lot, and
That's where
the glass might be sitting out in the sun, but
right.
I mean, it was just, that was where the heady scene, now you hear this term wooks, and I think I said something to somebody the other day. I'm like, back when we, they use this term loosely these days, but back when we thought of wooks, we were thinking of Chewbacca.
Like the Wookiees.
That. Now they use this term wooks, I think, in kind of correlation with like what a hippie would be or something. But
I know.
And
A lazy hippie.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
And
I mean,
so
it's like,
I don't really, but
Well, also just for conversation's sake, Wookiees is also a term for Volkswagen VR6
That's right.
owners.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I always thought Wook meant Wookie, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, but it's
Cool.
also like tree people.
Yeah.
Like it makes so much sense when you say it.
Yeah.
But then like you said, like there's this
it's just got a different connotation.
yeah, this
sometimes
more
people use
hippie, the hippie connotation's been added to it, I think. But yeah, go ahead about the going to the festivals and finding the heady pieces.
I mean, that was where, and like all of these people, like we go, I mean, like, so when I really first got into glass was about 1997, and I was going to school for horticulture. I started out in medical school, but switched out of there. I'm like, I'm not going to be in a lab my whole life. So switched to horticulture for the obvious reasons. I mean, I'm like, there's herbal medicine is definitely going to be more of a path that I would want to feed to people and to be fed.
Mhm.
So while doing that, we started melting some glass. It wasn't, there was only a couple colors. There was some silver fume, like there wasn't, I don't even think, I'm trying to remember if we even had the internet or any of that. I mean, I'm aging myself, but that was, like I said, 97. I mean, I couldn't tell you when the internet, but we weren't playing with that.
You had it, we had it, but it was too dang expensive for us at that time.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
I was buying the art from the artist and whatever else, and just running around the streets and had a little bit of everything, and we were just spreading it through like a underground system. It wasn't in the stores. Like the good stuff was not at the stores.
Right.
And then but now to these days, really the artists that seem to do the best are the ones that were dealing with the stores, because like they would, or once we actually started stores, because and most of the people that had stores were the lot kids, were the people, and so it's still the same. It was just coming more to the mainstream, and then it's just continuously grown into that mainstream where we've gone to these just huge art galleries that we've set up and had. What's the guy's name? Gregory Escalante, but I'm trying to think of Juxtapose magazine.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that started that, came out, and we're just like, we're trying to bridge this gap between like the underground and the mainstream art, and like going out to LA and to these big galleries, and like we're about to, and like a bunch of street kids, I mean, we're all successful, but we're just like a bunch of street kids running around, just playing, doing what we do, and like slinging that then people waiting right there for the piece because they know we're gonna get it.
That's great.
And that was one of Banjo's shows that out in LA that I'm talking about.
I wonder if you were talking about the store, the stores being the kind of the staple of what allowed the bigger people to grow. I wonder if it has something to do with just distribution. Like it's like when it came time to be mainstream, the distribution channels were there. Whereas somebody that was starting right out of the gate, they don't know where they're going to sell their stuff. But all the people before, they're like, "Oh no, I got buddies. They got shops. Don't you worry."
Right. No, they were selling it. They were selling it on the lot before then, and then it went to, after Pipe Dreams kind of settled down a little bit, then we started popping up the stores, and it was still kind of. You didn't know if you were going to get raided and get it all taken away, but it was worth the shot.
People did that too, huh? Set up and didn't do so hot.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
cops and.
But it was part of the fun. It's just like the people in the medical industry now. I mean, most of them were outlaws for a long time. And the ones that are really leading the way weren't the ones that just started out recently. They've been doing it for their whole life.
Yes, for sure.
And there's a reason why their network is so strong. It's because it's been going for so long.
And so the trust in like the glass industry, it's the people that have been doing it since the 90s and early 2000s together. I mean, we've been doing this longer than. Definitely, because most people didn't ever believe that any of this would be legal, and we all, it was just, but I don't even know why it was ever illegal, more than anything.
That's a question for the ages.
Yeah.
When you opened the shop, were you met with any kickback from Fayetteville City?
It was all about the wording, and just, we had to change our wording every year. At one point, everything was, this is for all tobacco use.
Right.
And then everything, and, even though nothing was ever meant for tobacco use, none of it was ever, I don't smoke tobacco. I don't condone nicotine use. I don't think, I think it's, we were talking about coffee right when we got here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't want to have anything that I have to have every day, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between that and medicine. Some people use recreational of whatever they want. That's up to the individual to decide. Now, nothing in the store is for tobacco use.
You get to like say that honestly.
Yeah. No, there's a sign
That's
that said, we don't sell any pods or nicotine things or
Well,
imports.
Where's the drum pouch, man?
No.
The drum can.
Yeah. No, go down the street for that.
That's right.
Yeah, there's plenty of smoke shops in Fayetteville.
Oh yeah, no.
You can get that junk.
Right.
Yeah. Plenty
So
of
yeah,
smoke shops.
it's and basically you have to be 21 to buy tobacco. yeah, you can go to war, you can do whatever, but you can't buy tobacco at 18 years old.
That'll stop them.
But you can buy these because they're not for tobacco use.
Oh, snap.
Because they're for other legal herbs and whatever.
That's hilarious.
Or medical.
Which is a trip because
damn Johnny Law.
And the phrasing of words from one year to the next.
That's wild.
Yeah. And that's all we do is just change we just pay attention and then we just change our words a little bit, and that's all you've got to do. It's just all about the education and communication of the product.
Right. So no, you never really received any kickback from Fayetteville.
No, they were always looking out. I mean, we paid our taxes. We did what we were doing. We weren't stirring any trouble. We weren't hustling out the back door. So it was they were cool. I mean,
that's great.
They were looking out for us.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I think that there's an element to it too where Fayetteville's a pretty progressive place, and I mean this culture,
especially on the east side.
Right
on, dude.
Right. But you would think that if there's a place for it to be open to it, it's Fayetteville. Of all the places in Northwest Arkansas, sans Eureka Springs.
Right. And it's been decriminalized in both of those cities for a decade.
Right.
Yep. So, I mean, that's not the problem.
Right.
That's not what people are worried about.
It's not that part. Yeah.
I mean, drinking and driving, which I'm familiar with for sure, and other things that you make with things under the sink are a lot worse around here than any of this herb will ever be.
Yeah. Well, and to to kind of uplift this even more, introducing the heady element to this conversation is a certain type of person has to be, you have to have your stuff together to be able to even afford a heady piece, let alone play in the game that is high-end glasswork. So it's not like you're, selling blunts out the door and that's all you're doing. Right. It's like this is like it's a higher echelon of the same culture, but it's a more respectful one. I think that the heady side of it is the more respectful side. Because
just like a peace pipe, there's a little bit of what's the word? Kind of a ritual to it,
1,000%.
I think that, people take their medicine seriously. And, your medicine might be your food, it might be your herb, but I mean, that medicine cabinet needs to be like, it needs to look like a flower.
Mm-hmm. And respected and treated with real care. I think that we could go so deep into like the care of it versus like the average person who would just like crack open some stuff, split a blunt, and just like fill it up and call it a day.
And then like you're saying, I mean, like so many of these people with these beautiful pieces, I mean, it's not like they're, there's the stereotype of they're going to rip this and they're going to melt into the couch and watch a movie. But no, they're jumping up, they're going and they're riding their mountain bike.
Doing things.
They're going and going for a run. They're going to the gym like immediately after.
That's right.
Like
yep.
They're taking a dab and like, now it's time to go work out.
Yeah, I think that's something that's probably one of the biggest misnomers in the culture is that there's a thought that everybody's lazy.
Right.
And I mean,
for sure.
I mean, I'm the first one to speak up and say that I'm an active user. Like I like to be active and I like to stay active all the time. So I mean, like, anyways, like we could go into different fields of that, but I mean, like for I guess like going back to what my point was is that to be a part of this, it's not the lazy side of society that's engaging in this.
Oh no. You got to have a hustle on.
You got to have some hustle to be involved in this. Yeah.
I always think there's people that buy art and hang it on their wall that's no different in cost to this. And it's like they just have it hanging on the wall. Yours is like could be a centerpiece. Yeah. It's a usable centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Functional art.
Anybody that has one of those.
Functional art.
Keeps it clean.
We call it functional art. I mean, if you want to, you can turn it that way. And when everybody looks at it, that can be on your mantle just like that. And some people are going to love it just as much like that as they are with a bowl
with
or
a bowl
a
in
banger
it. Yeah. So speaking on price, can you elaborate on at least these pieces here? And like, just so like that, because I think that one thing is like the viewers would want to know what some of this stuff
I was
runs.
wondering, but I didn't know if I was.
No,
I think that was a question.
Yeah.
Considering they're on the website,
there we go.
This one, it could go anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000, really.
Okay.
And I mean, it with the amount of work into it and the detail, and I mean, it's just because if you started breaking down the parts and the pieces, and I mean, you can, and then the name, and then everything, the decades that it took to learn the techs that go into that. I mean,
yeah,
some people can't do one of these techs, much less all of these.
All
techs.
of them and together,
right?
In a not functional and artistic way.
I mean, and we did a show last year for the anniversary with Ari, the bluegrass class that makes these, and this is owned by a local. This is one of the gentlemen that works with me owns this one. So
okay.
One thing I've always said is I won't ever tell anybody the price of a piece that's sold. But
gotcha.
His lamps go anywhere from like $3,000 to $6,000 for a solo up to $15,000 for like a collaboration with other certain artists.
Did you make them bigger?
Yeah. I mean, and we've got some tubes now that are like 20 inches. So I mean, I almost brought one of those, but this is kind of more the rig
table piece.
Well, it's more like a concentrate piece.
But right. Yes.
Yeah. Which you could, and then this is like the top for the slurper, the banger, the whatever. This is a little pindy.
Yeah.
Go with it, but
cool.
I mean, it's great having him in the area too, because I just run out there and like, obviously everybody in the country wants it, but it's nice to just be able to go out there and be like.
So, do you work in commission work as well?
I have never done that.
Okay.
If I like it, I buy it.
Okay, so it's more collective based than commission based.
So I'm the biggest collector in the state.
You don't even have. I could assume that from what I know.
But most people, they would rather do it on commission. And you can do
gotcha.
that. I mean, like a lot of people will do a show and they'll do it on commission, and like you can get, I don't want to tell all the tricks of the trade, but basically you can not buy it and you can make a little less. Or you can believe, it's like the stock market. You can believe in your investment, you can believe in your research, you can believe in what you know, and you can buy it and you can sell it.
And you are one of those
curator.
Yeah, you're a curator. Yeah, you're knowledgeable about the stuff too. This isn't something where you're just like looking at, oh, that looks cool, I bought it. Like the history behind this stuff. Like you said, why something would be valued at something, and so like you're an assessor. You're like a glass assessor.
His shop's like a art museum.
Oh no, there's
not like
there's
an art gallery. There's so much stuff, dude.
No, I mean the only Crystal Bridges is the only art gallery that'll hang with us in the country. Or
as far as
that's right.
Value.
There you go.
As far as actual value.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is insane to think about, dude. That is insane to think about.
It makes sense though,
because it was like when Chihuly had his setup there, and I'm like looking at these $8,000 bowls that one of his apprentices made because he can't see anymore, but it's his vision that they're making.
Oh, interesting.
And it's
I didn't know that.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this bowl, but it'd be nice to buy one that he actually made and formed, but and then Corning came out and they did a display too, which they're another glass
Corning,
point.
Yep.
And so now actually Corning went years and years, but now a lot of the guys that I've worked with are actual blowing pipes in Corning, which they didn't allow for however many.
Yeah, because it's like it's art glass museum, like just strictly.
But now they're having demos where these pipe makers are making their craft there, and it's cool that they're allowing it because it's more mainstream, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive piece you've ever seen? You've come across?
I mean, I've seen $250,000 piece sell before.
What?
I wish I had a picture of it.
What?
It's called the King of Kings.
I was way off of what I thought you were gonna say, man. I thought maybe like upwards 60 or 100 grand.
Oh, no.
Holy
No,
crap!
I've seen
That's probably more common.
I've seen
right?
those move more than you can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, I mean, I almost bought a $100,000 piece. It was a WJC and Buck collab, but the one that went for a quarter was it was Buck, but he lives out in the woods in Oregon, and he makes these big angler fish and like these cougar heads.
Yeah,
and
I've seen those.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I love this guy. I mean, but you don't see him. He comes out of the woodwork every now and then. They had this show in Denver called Heaters, and a bunch of the Everdream crew, which most people know who they are, but like Eugene and Elbow and Nathan Myers and WJC, and just WJC made this little pendant here. This is a little gift from him, but
Nice. Yeah.
you know, it's just like you would never be able to guess the price, and you know, I won't tell you, but
Dude, you got me.
But, oh yeah, it was called King of Kings, and it was all this fumed out piece that Adam G made, and I remember the first time he ever went to a like a flame off, and was wandering around with this little piece that he made, and he was just kind of one of the up and comers, and now he's like one of the big dogs. But
That's cool.
if you've ever seen Laser Cat on a shirt or anything, he has a big grow out there up like 10,000 feet.
Yeah, I've seen the brand before,
Yeah.
Laser Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that piece, I definitely need to dig out some pictures for you, because it was one of the most, I mean, like, and it had like these glass like hookah hoses coming off of it, and it was basically a lion, but it was about, I don't know, they'd been working on it for like 3 years. I mean, it wasn't like something that they had just put together overnight.
Dude.
I mean, the every little detail that went into it was crazy. But yeah,
It's like building a car.
yeah.
Right.
Ground up or something.
No, I mean,
Right.
like about 8 years ago, 6 or 8 years, like 16 to 18. I mean, there was 50, 60 grand pieces going quite a bit. Like, it was popping off for a while, and that's when everybody jumped on, and it was like, I'm gonna do this too, and then everything started like cruising down, and they weren't prepared for that, because they were just throwing in all this money and not knowing what they were doing. It's just so
Kind of like what you're talking about with the investments, like understanding your investments. There's some wise purchases. There's probably some not wise purchases.
And I've made not wise purchases.
Yeah, win some, lose some type stuff, man.
No, I mean, I've let my I don't know, I guess my heart take over my head a few times on some art, and that's okay too, because I wouldn't be here without that.
That's crazy. Yeah. So in doing this, you were just talking about investment. Do you when you're buying these pieces, there's not like I think about like trading cards. Like, there's places that you can go online and just like find value. You know what I mean? Like, you can assess value. There's not really a place to do that for glass, is there?
So I have people from all over the country and the world like hit me up, and they're asking me. They're
I
like,
called it earlier, dude. You're an assessor. You're the glass assessor. Change the name.
no, there's others that do, but like, I mean, I definitely get asked, and I'll break down like the roots of it and the history,
and how you got to that number,
where this guy came from, and like, is it used? Does it have any? Does it have you? Are there any marks on the base? Are there anything? There's just lots of different things that could go into that. But I mean, like, there's depreciation, and I tell people about some pieces in my shop. I'm like, some of that dust is worth more money, and some of it's worth less money. Like some of them gain value with time, and some of them lose value with time.
So like, just like any other art, really.
Sure.
Whenever I go to buy, I'm like, I'm going to be prepared to keep this forever. Like, so any piece I buy, I'm prepared to keep, at least 5 years, 10 years, maybe forever. So like,
which I think that's a characteristic of a curator. I think, really.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying it to flip, really. Like, that's in the truest like form of it. Like, you're seeing the art value, and you're like, I like this.
Right.
I'm buying this.
And then I was telling the story again to Adam the other day. I was like, used to, if I liked it, everybody liked it. And then it got to the point where if I liked it, nobody liked it. And now we're finally coming back around again.
Style.
It's just like retro. You know, it's just like now it's back to if I like it, people like it again.
Right.
So,
but that kind of reminds me of like Jinkos being in style.
Oh yeah.
You know,
For
it's
sure.
like it's just the things that came from the era that influenced us is just coming. You know,
Full circle.
Yeah, it's coming full circle.
And people ask all the time, "What was it like in the '90s?" Like, you missed out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You can't relive that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't remake that. Magic
90s
in
Fayetteville was
lightning in a
sick.
bottle.
Man,
Yeah.
whenever there was no lights on Dixon, no curb and gutter, and it would rain, and you could take a canoe down
There
the
you
hill.
go.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh
were
yeah.
the good
Seen
days.
it many times.
But you know, like you're talking about retro, like this inside out style is like, besides fuming, like this is one of the older styles, but this new generation's never seen it, so it's new again.
That is hilarious to me.
You know.
Yeah, that is hilarious to me.
So like
So-
this is one of the most styles that have been done besides just like wrap and rake and fume.
Yeah,
Which
I'm like I've owned some pieces with that style.
oh yeah,
You know.
but like now it's new again.
Yeah. So
Huh.
so what when we were talking about prices, we didn't touch up on the spoon. What would like a spoon like that
That's like
run for?
120.
120?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
and that's not gone up way too much over the.
Sure. That seems like to me what I understand of the market like a standard.
Right.
Like a.
I mean, and if you handle those, they are thicker. They're started with like a 40 mil, 50 mil tubing, and like
oh yeah,
they're condensed. I mean, they're pavement pounders is what we call them. I mean, you
pavement
know, like
pounders. I love
that
that
thing.
term.
You know, like people used to skip them down the
Toss 'em.
pavement
Yep.
just to show you that they were better. And I'm like, don't ever buy that from anybody if they do that, because it'll put
'Cause
little fractures through it, and then
Now it's
it'll eventually
compromised.
pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I can think of a million different times with like friends. I really want to tell this story. A good friend of mine had one of those pieces, and he would demonstrate that all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Like, watch me, and he would do it, and I just will never forget the day that he did that,
It
and that
finally
was the
popped.
last time
It finally,
that he did.
it finally
that.
went on him.
Oh, it did. It did. But yeah, it's like when you can only, it's glass. You're there's only so much abuse it can take like that. And I think the idea behind people doing that is to just show it can take one of these hits.
sure.
So buy the other ones.
It's just
you
like
know?
stress fracture. You're like, you don't know. Well, no, I wouldn't even buy the other one. I would leave
Oh,
because why didn't they throw that other one the day before? You know, I mean, I don't recommend.
It's like a helmet. If you
I don't-
fall and
Yeah.
smack your melon with a helmet, that
I don't-
helmet's done.
I don't
Whether that's
recommend throwing the
motorcycle,
glass.
skateboard.
and also I think
Done.
what you're saying by that too is like if somebody's trying to like sell
it that way. Yeah.
it's like kind of.
Yeah. You don't know which one's
is
safe
it
thrown.
cheesy? I don't know.
One
I
of
don't
the
know.
funniest things I saw is somebody was trying to do that on top of one of the counters or on top of one of the glass cases,
Oh,
and they were
jeez.
popping it, and it just
Oh,
it broke the whole
Of course
top
it
of the
did.
case.
Of course it did.
Yeah, and
Glass
I
on
was like,
glass, something's gonna break.
I was like, I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Of course it did. Oh, that's great. So the shop. What are the hours?
So Monday through Saturday, we're there noon to 8. I mean, we used to try earlier and later, but it just like
You
you know, I
found the
mean,
sweet
I know
spot.
I know people that do like appointment only kind of thing on certain gallery stuff, but you know, we don't want to do that. And then on Sunday, we're only open 1 to 5, but half a day. But you know, it's enough to where if you busted a bowl then Saturday night that you can come in and snack something, you know, or
Right.
I mean, it's but sometimes Sundays are the best days. So, but I mean, basically we're open like as long as I'm awake, we're open. I mean, I've come in and met people at midnight. I've had people drive in from like Alabama to pick something up, and I've met them there at the crack of dawn. You know, it's just like there's people that fly in from all over the country, and I've actually flown in places with like some banjo pieces and other things and dropped them off and like met in an airport and like, here's the piece, here's cash, let's get out of here.
Well, because I really want some people to come visit the shop. Like
Yeah.
that's really what my goal is.
Oh,
is
yeah.
because like, you know, if you're at all, if you're listening to this and you're not familiar, like you really need to go check it out because it's not it's something you have to see in person.
I think the building's nostalgic too. Like that reminds me of old Fayetteville. You know, you had old buildings like that. They transformed into a couple rooms or a business in a
Absolutely.
loft or something, and they're getting rid of all that stuff.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of that one. I bought that one, so
they ain't getting rid of that one.
They can't kick me out now. Because I thought, just
Right.
like everybody, like a lot of these, Dark Star and Tables and Nail, like these greedy owners just decided that they were going to quadruple the rent, and then they got rid of some of the relics of the town. It's like it's like Chester's. I'm sure it was the same story back then. It was like
sad.
It's just if you don't own the building, you better reinvest in yourself.
Right. But yeah, like if looking at the Instagram page, there really is like a lot of things to check, and that's why I was saying, like, when you're looking at the Instagram, even there's so much stuff on there, and I was poking through, just snagging pictures for promo, and I was just thinking to myself, this isn't even like a fraction.
Oh no!
Like, I'm looking at 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. It's still not a fraction of what you have in there, and I just imagine it's so hard to showcase that all the time.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I tell people that come in, I'm like, just because you don't see it doesn't mean we don't have it.
That is so funny, dude.
They'll see something they like, and I'll watch them look at 3 pieces, and then I'll be like, hold on.
I think I know what you want.
I'll go to the back and I'll be like, what about this? And they're like, that's perfect.
That's great.
This is scary to me. Watch you roll over the concrete.
Over the asphalt.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa, buddy.
Oh my God.
Well, that's where the sun was.
That's where the sun was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never fear. We're not getting fingerprints on them.
That's right. Yeah. No, I like you handle with the black gloves. So what are these pieces here that we're looking at?
Those go on a Puffco Peak, which is not like something we push hard, but it's basically it's a vape. Well, what we call it now is a thermal extraction.
Okay.
Because vape kind of more relates to
cigarette vape
pods and nicotines and all that. So we're trying to change the wording.
Yeah.
And that's not something everybody's doing. I mean, this is kind of like we don't really associate with that.
Sure.
And so these go on the top of it's got a heating element on there. That's a ceramic heating element. And then you put your concentrate in there, and that piece hooks on the top of it. And that's just the bubble chamber. This is a buddy of mine, Jay, the Evil Empire, and he's a scientific glass blower for 20 years before he ever got into pipes. But
that maybe, does that explain the hard angles?
Oh, he does everything that he does is a 45 or a 90.
I love that. Like, that got me going.
He's crispy. That. I mean, he doesn't play. Like,
that's beautiful, dude.
I mean, he'll hook up a pump to it and run like pressure and like all these different tests on him. Like, it's not just there's
scientific.
More science to it. Yeah, it's very scientific.
That is crazy.
But yeah, these things they've become pretty big. We don't push them hard. We'd rather you buy just a glass piece and throw a quartz banger on there. But that was a little drop, and I've been working with him for about
Okay, gotcha.
I've been working. So those are on the piece there, so you can see the bottom, and that little front piece is where you where you throw the concentrate. That's basically your bowl, we'll say.
Yeah.
But I've been working with him almost 10 years now in this industry.
That's great.
He's a good guy. I mean, we got some customs made for a bunch of people. I mean, so I've never backed out of an order ever. So like a lot of people, like during COVID and stuff, they were backing out and flaking. So because I've never backed out, like basically I can ask anybody almost for anything at any time and get it.
Because you've generated like a good relationship with them. Because you're reliable.
Yeah. Because almost everybody has flaked one time or another. But I'm like, I don't back out.
You're that one.
They know if I'll walk in, I'll pretty much buy the whole case. If somebody else flakes on one, I'll buy their order.
And that right there. Oh, we got to show these off right here.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Let's go full screen with that puppy right there.
And those are all UV too, which are really sweet. Wow. Yeah. That's what that other.
A lot of UV. I've noticed is that more popular these days?
It has. It's kind of it's come back. I mean, once again, it's the retro. Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's probably their parents probably had a blacklight room or something with some Led Zeppelin posters in there or something.
Influenced them to make
those
it.
Felt posters that were freaking black lights.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It was felt, and then the other part glowed.
Yeah.
And then there's some CFL ones too that kind of change between a CFL light and an LED light, but I didn't bring any of those with me today.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, I mean, so many of these companies have been around forever. Sovereignty, they're definitely one of the OG, and we hadn't had a drop from them for like a decade until this last year, and now we're, there's some of these people, they only sell to like 15 people in the country. Like that Swiss perk right there.
Oh, wow.
There were only like 7 of us that sold those, and now there's like 25, and there's one in Switzerland and Spain and like.
But I mean, even that 25 doesn't seem like a lot to me.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Like it's still like what would you like say like in select stores kind of marketing,
So our little humble store in Arkansas, we definitely get some of the best of the best in the world, and I'll put us up against anybody anytime.
Well, you just you put yourself up against Crystal Bridges.
Right. Same sentence, baby. Yeah, same sentence.
I'm not scared of that.
No, I love it.
It's funny.
Yeah,
though.
I love it. It is funny.
It's there.
Yeah,
Right.
and the reality is there because there's the value. Because I mean, anybody if you want to put art against art and go apple to apple,
right?
Let's go apple to apple. Value, you still got it.
Because I'm gonna have a show in there at some point whenever I can find the right person that
Let you in there?
that can talk to the right person that's going to be chill enough to deal with it. We'll make it happen.
I know someone that works there.
Right. I know some people that work there. I mean, I got family that work there, but I'm just saying, it's the timing's going to be right.
Yeah, timing and placement. I think it's like it all has to like fit.
Because I'm not just going to roll in there with some spoons. I mean, it's going to be like I'm going to come with the heat. I mean, they're going to be happy to see it.
Right.
They're not going to be able to find the bolt. They're not going to know what to do with it. So it's not going to be something that they're going to be like, oh, that's a pipe.
Right.
This is sacrilege. It's
Right.
like, this is okay. They're going to be like, that's cool. Thank you for coming and showing us your art. Sharing it with the community.
What are these like? I've seen these pieces before. Who does this?
Okay, Randall did that one, but it's a recycler. So a lot of these have more like a diffusion. So like with flower pieces, more you want diffuses, so more surface area, so more bubbles touch more, like so more smoke touches more water.
Yeah.
So a lot of little bubbles. But on these, the smoke travels with the water. And so it like comes and it recycles and it's moving with it. So it's basically touching it for a longer period of time, but it's not breaking it up because the concentrate is already, plant matter is basically removed. I mean, it's it's already like, I can't think of a good comparison, but it's mainly a cooling process rather than a filtering process. You don't need to filter it anymore.
Right.
So at that point, it's just traveling with the smoke
needs
for
to
a
be
longer
cooled
path.
down.
Yeah, because you're heating the banger up to 500 to 700 depending on who you are, because that you get a different profile that comes out of it by the heat.
That's right.
So I mean, at that point, you're just cooling it. It looks good on the gram. I mean, that's what the kids want.
That's right.
Those big tubes, like, yep.
Dude, honestly, like, you don't have anything on here that looks bad. I mean, I could click for days, dude.
The dragon, the owl, I love that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
So, Elbow, I mean, he's huge. He's a major marketer. I mean, he's in Japan half the time. He's making toys now, the little dino toys. I mean, he's got a whole line of stuff all over the world.
Wild.
He'll be in.
What is that head though?
That's just a pendant.
Okay.
Right.
Kind of matches the whole set.
The one little head's just a little jammer, little bub.
Oh, right.
But then the one's a pendy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then those little the little dinosaurs. He's been doing those forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And they come with a certificate of authenticity now. They come in a Pelican case. I mean, we're packing them like you're packing
art.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like buying. Gosh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, where are you supposed to like haul this stuff? Haul it around. Like, you gotta have special cases for all that stuff.
Oh, cases, 100%. Check them out. Pelicans, baby. All day. Pelicans. Shout out Pelican.
Yeah.
That'd be a good sponsor for the shop.
The military, I mean, they they should send stuff all over, but a lot of people are, sending cameras and whatever. But like
Nifty.
that's the way it needs to go.
Right.
I mean, and then now I just started putting air tags in when I'm shipping them, so I can watch
So
it.
you know where they're going, where they're
Well,
located.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Because basically, you're seeing tracking from somebody, but it's not near as fast as tracking that air tag.
Because that's live, baby.
Yeah, that's true. Like UPS is telling you one thing, and then you're looking at it.
Oh,
yeah. When they do that, that's the last scan.
Right.
Like it's just where it was scanned last, not where is it located.
So I put the air tag in a self-addressed envelope, and then they just drop it off when they get it back and send it back to me.
Oh,
and
what
just
a great idea, dude.
Started doing this year. I don't know. It was just like a random thought, and my brother was talking about putting them in his luggage. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I know what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, you nailed it with the self-addressed envelope.
It's
like
insurance
it's like,
and a half to me.
I mean, and even if you do lose the $20-25 on the air tag, you're still protecting the $6,000 or $8,000 piece of glass.
For
yeah.
sure.
And $25 to have that assurance for however many times you do that use that one.
Because I've had some holiday pieces where I had like a 12K piece out, and like I have a customer hit me up that it's lost in the mail, and I'm at like Thanksgiving dinner.
You're like,
and
way.
I'm like, and I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm like, because it's a 1-of-1.
Yep.
Like
it's not, you're not replacing that one.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
so now I take care of my heart. I like to sleep at night.
Yep. So I mean, have you had many run-ins like that? Many issues, shipping issues?
I mean, I don't like to talk. I won't talk about it.
Okay, all right. That's the stuff. That's the stuff
Bad
that
times.
keeps you awake at night.
Yeah. No, we do pretty good.
That's good. Because I can imagine. Okay, so like, shipping to you, right? Like, because you're purchasing this stuff. You say that you go some places, you go and pick them up yourselves, but you also will get stuff shipped to you.
Right.
It's that same kind of like worry and danger coming to you, right?
Well, I mean, but that's on them until it gets to me.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
I mean, I try.
It's not your problem till
I try to make good friends with all the shipping people for sure. And like, we don't put the shop name on it these days. We don't put their glass blowing name on it these days.
I don't blame you.
Make it anonymous.
I mean, you don't do not put fragile on a box. That means drop kick.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the person that might be mad that day is like, oh, yeah.
Oh, fragile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. When I walk in, they're like, that looks professional. I'm like, it is.
It is. Yeah. That's the point,
That's
brother.
what we do here.
No, that's great. And when people ship the like the head earpieces, do they ship in Pelicans to you?
Yeah,
Is that something that happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times.
But
I mean, it kind of it got to be almost like,
standard.
They were going to come, like all of them are going to come in one. And so it used to be, when I'd go out to Vegas, I would have these huge Pelicans and I would like pluck out and everything. But then I just went with an empty suitcase and was just coming back with just 8 Pelicans in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can see that.
right. Yeah, like Legos kind of.
So it's just, and then, you carry on the ones that are the 40K ones, and then you pack the ones that are this price and here, and as long as if you feel comfortable with dropping that off the side of a plane, then you're all right.
They ever say anything just scanning them through?
Oh, they just smile.
They just smile.
So what we always try to do is we always try to get the picture when it's going through the scanner, like they're.
I'd love to
see that. Those are the coolest shots.
Oh yeah,
but they
the skeleton.
Get mad. Whenever you try to do that, they get mad.
That stuff. Yeah.
And so we try, and there's some good photos of those. But I'll go through X and A, and they're like, "Well, where's the stuff that goes in it?"
Because they're like looking through your stuff, like trying to find that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean,
don't worry, brother. There's nothing in there.
No, they pull out my kilo of granola and like, start dusting it down, and I'm like, I'm just trying to eat, man. Like, like I just don't want to pay the airport.
You want some of that granola? You can.
Yeah,
have
you
some.
can have some. It's not even open.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
And then so like you get the bigger stuff will come in the Pelicans, but so I want to make this clear too to people watching that we're talking about all this expensive stuff, but you have modest price
point
stuff at the shop.
Yeah.
Before we get out of the shipping, how does that ship to you? Like, does it come in just boxes and bubble wrap?
The more affordable stuff?
Yeah.
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 I mean, so when it comes to most of that, I get it local.
Okay. Oh, right. So then you're not worried about that.
Yeah.
You're not even doing
they just
that.
show up and I'm
Yeah.
like,
I'll take this and this.
all
Yeah.
that. I mean, and we still go back to the gun cases that I've had for 15, 20 years that we had on a parking lot and
Love it.
go from one gun case to the other.
Gun
And
cases. Yeah.
everybody thinks we're smuggling firearms, but, we're just moving art.
Yep. That's the one thing I can remember, like when we were hanging together more often, is I just knew when you came up, like holding the gun cases.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, we're about to see some new stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but I mean, I do everything I can to support the locals, and they
Right.
support me. I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship.
That's
cool. I mean, there's some of them. I mean, even to this day that like have come to a class, but they're intimidated to come in because they know that we go hard.
Go hard. Yeah, that's right.
And so they don't want to present their art to us because they don't think it's good enough. And I'm like, who are you to decide? I'm like, I'm not. I love new artists, and I want them to
Yeah.
come in, and
I didn't think
want,
of that.
but like they're scared, like and intimidated because they don't think their piece is good enough,
Okay.
and they don't know that what I've seen. They don't know that.
They don't know the trash that you've seen.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know what I make. I mean, anything I've ever made was a gift. I mean, I don't. I mean, I can blow a little bit, but I stay too busy to do it.
to learn. Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's a lot of time.
It's time. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I do want to shout out a couple other people in the chat. We'll take a second here. Is somebody from Costa Rica, Unreal Terps. Shout out Wade. Yeah. So
Wow.
you got some fans from Costa
I
Rica.
wonder if there's. I'm trying to think. There's one guy in Costa Rica, but that's not. Yeah, I think that's his name. I'd have to look on my phone.
YouTube names, like account names, never really match the person.
I know,
I've
man.
learned
It's weird.
this.
It's like
Yeah.
I've
It's
watched
not
the chat before, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even know who that
No,
is. I don't know who that
there's
is.
one homie in Costa Rica that I'm getting a custom made for right now, or an Evil Empire, but it might be him. I'd have to look back because that name sounds real familiar. But
Sure.
oh yeah, I mean, I just shipped a piece to. I think I told you a minute ago to Chile the other day, and Australia buys quite a bit, and
Dang. Australia.
UK. I just hit some salt glass in UK. I shipped a
He
piece.
confirmed. Costa Rica confirmed.
Oh yeah.
Unreal Terps.
What's up, homie?
Shout out.
What's the most expensive place to ship to, you think?
I mean, it's gotten a lot more affordable. And, like some of these folks, I'll send to like a courier service, and then
That's right.
it'll go to one place, and then they have somebody that like sends it to them.
And just let them handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works pretty well.
It's more like a shipping broker.
And it's funny
Yeah.
because like the one that went to Chile, I have this group that I work with that all these Swiss perk dealers, and there's the ones that are all over the world, and these guys got on this group like, has anybody ever worked with this guy before? And I'm like, I've got a piece going to him right now. I've been talking to him for 6 months,
Right.
and I was the only one that like
Activated.
was willing to try,
Activated.
and like give him a shot, because they were all thinking that he was going to flake and it wasn't going to make it, but it made it. And I had one go to Israel the other day, and I was kind of joking like,
Oh,
we're
wow.
doing some piece through pipes.
Peace through pipes. Yeah, peace
Wow.
pipe. You're like for real doing peace pipes finally.
Right. So I mean, but like I was telling Brandon when I got here, is like, there's another billion people out there. Why? I mean, I'm glad that nobody else wants to like look
try.
into that.
Yeah.
But I'm here. If you want it shipped around the world, I got you.
Yeah, and there's plenty of selection. I think
Yeah.
that's another cool thing is like if somebody wanted to go to like the Instagram wherever you're at, you
Right.
could be like, oh, you have that,
Oh yeah.
and you'd be like, yeah, you want me to ship it to you?
No, there's times I have to like literally take the conversation out, put it in a translator, and like translate it
That's
to be able to like put
amazing.
it back. Because
That's
I mean, that,
So great,
like
dude.
this guy from Chile, like he'll switch back and forth, and like I'm like, I don't
I'm
know
not
what
sure.
you're saying, but I'll figure it out. We'll make this happen.
Oh, that's great. That's
We
great.
did, there was a little glass blowing class we'll do more of those. I mean, those are fun.
Oh, this year?
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll do like, we've done everything from intro to that heady seminar where like even the masters were challenged, so
That's great.
it's fun to.
No, I really do kind of want to I want to go to one of them just to like see the display of all of the people working together. Like I think
yeah.
that's really cool. What was the piece called? Ursula. Ursula. Yeah.
It's probably on here somewhere if you scroll down.
Is it? You think it'd be down or up?
Down.
Down. Okay.
Don't we have like a pro skateboarder that blows glass?
Oh, Jay
Jayworth?
Worthington.
Yeah.
Jayworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jayworth.
He makes little skateboard wheels a lot of times.
Yeah.
I know. I definitely need to get.
Yeah,
some
we've
of
done
those.
some stuff with him.
I keep thinking about that for you guys, but
Man.
Yeah.
There's probably some kids that would buy that.
oh yeah. Now I got some friends that work with him quite a bit. That was done in town.
Whoa, this was done in town?
So that so Laceface and Bubbles the Butcher made that. So Bubbles does a lot of the little bonsai trees, and Lacey does a lot of just real flowy women. And
bro, this is insane.
She's a beast. I mean,
go back. There we go.
She can hang with all the big boys.
That's wild, dude.
But yeah, I mean, so her husband, Scuba, is what we call him, Scuba Steve. He rolled in, and I'm just like, I get first shot at it because it was made in the neighborhood, and she finished up some touching up in the shop using some of my gear. So I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And
I can't believe this, dude. This is wild.
so yeah, Bubbles, he's out in Eureka, and she's in Austin, but every time they come, they almost don't leave now.
Bro, you got like a little mecca here.
Yeah, you're
That's
pulling people to Arkansas.
Arkansas still has like all this hidden stuff people don't even know about, man.
Oh yeah, no, we've just been, it's like that old saying: if you build it, they'll come. So
There you go.
we've just been building this community, and here they come.
And here they come. They finally coming. Yeah,
It's already a rad spot, and then you built up something for them to be part of.
Oh, click on this little green and orange and right
Oh,
here.
okay, yeah. My mouse is acting up.
That's a little
Of course,
banjo, and
asked
it's
for
kind
it.
of cool. That's
And
a
the mouse
Artemis
is jacked.
piece.
And they're right here.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat one that banjo
Holy
did.
crap.
Whoo! Let's go full screen with that puppy.
That's one that.
Oh wow!
That's orange and green are my favorite colors in glass. And look at that little facet with the opal there.
Good grief.
Then there'll be another facet on top of the wigwag under it. But that thing is gnarly.
You still have it, or is it gone?
I've got it. I've got this guy in Cali, and I think they're moving to Oregon now, but he loves it. I mean, he's going to come for it.
He's going to come for it one day. Yeah.
Either that, or I'm just going to fly out there and.
What's the guesstimate price on that?
I call that one 33.
33.
33K.
Okay. Yeah.
I sure say I know you're gonna finagle back and forth, so I'm not
Well,
gonna ask you what's exact
I-
price for it.
It's because it's like
It is art.
it's art,
Yes.
and when you get to somebody that's an actual buyer, I guarantee that this is the case. It's like anything, because I do collect a couple of things, and it's what will I pay for it?
Right.
And so when you have a price as a collector, you present the price, then the buyer says, okay, this is what I'm willing to pay for it.
It's in the eyes of the beholder.
Is it the
There you
same?
go.
Yeah.
Same process.
Like you said, you got a dude that wants to come out and get it, possibly. So
Yeah. No, I mean, like I tell them, like, if you want to fly here and get it, then it's this price. You can get it. I'll cover your airline. I'll come pick you up from the airport. We'll hang out. We'll go to dinner or whatever.
Dude, that's so cool, dude.
It's not just
that's great, dude.
And we want, I want everybody that walks in, it's because it isn't like a strip mall, bars in the window kind of place. It's like, if you're coming in to buy a $5 piece, I want you to feel comfortable. If you're coming in to buy a $50,000 piece, I want you to feel comfortable.
Yeah, and okay, I'm so glad you talked about that, because like one of the things I wanted to get back to was that, because we're just talking money, where people are just like 33. I don't have that. I ain't buying that. But like, I want people to go in and see attainable pieces, because you actually reminded me of something. There was a piece that you had in the shop that for years
Still have
I wanted.
I looked at it the other day.
Dude,
I
you
almost
still
brought
have-
it.
Oh man,
I was going to bring it with me.
it's like, look what I still got.
I know exactly the one.
Uh,
It's a heady little Dan Evans
I
bug.
love it, man. It's just in green.
Well,
It's
it's
green-
got green,
green
and
and
some blues,
some
and it's got
blue.
like this red that swirls up
Swirls
through the
up
horn.
it.
And
Yep.
Yeah, no, because it's almost like he was influenced by Eugene, which is
It's-
one of the guys
Absolutely.
at Evergreen that I was talking
Absolutely.
about. That's one of the best, and he's done the stuff at Corning. So,
Okay.
so the guy that he was influenced by him, but it's a cool piece. I mean, it'll go, and like it's once again going back to that evolution. I mean,
Where it's in.
like flowers coming back. it was where everybody was going concentrate way, but now
I know.
But now, I mean, because you can get it, now everybody's wants flour again, which is
totally.
I mean, a old school flour bub like that. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, that is my style.
And then I remember a time when in the shop's history where concentrate pieces were just heavy. You just had them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like almost like you'd see less flour pieces because it was just you were just buying what people wanted.
Right.
But that is kind of cool to hear that flour's
I'm glad
coming back.
I'm all about it. That's why I said medicine should look like a flower.
That's right.
It's the 90s again.
It's the 90s again.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I like the 90s.
People are going to be rolling pinners again. But yeah, man, there's just so much. Oh yeah, so going back to the achievable price stuff, in the lower hundreds.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's everything from 10 to 100. You can get
10 to 100. Yeah,
a lot. I mean, there's a lot of variety in there.
I mean, I remember sometimes. This was back when I was living closer. Sometimes I would just stop by and just pick up something.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I just want to get something fresh, dude.
Right.
I just want something fresh,
Oh yeah,
just some clean glass.
I know a lot of people. They'll just kick down the one they've got just to get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that do
hand-me-downs. That's awesome.
Hand-me-downs. Yeah. No, it's funny, but then there's also like so I can't remember who I was talking to about this. We were talking about expensive pieces, and I made like a joke against it, like you pay more to have a piece that you can't clean. Because just all these like little nooks and crannies in like most of these heady pieces that are just so hard to get to.
But kind of a mix between going back to like the old headies on the parking lot. Like,
yeah,
I would see these people walking around with these things, and they would just have them in their hands walking around, and like everybody just wanted to pack it because it was the headiest piece they'd ever seen.
So like they were wanting to pack it because they wanted to use it.
Smoke out of it.
Yeah.
So like everybody was literally like, I remember seeing this kid. I think it was at the first Bonnaroo, and had this big heady bub, and I saw him probably 10 times, and everywhere he was, there was just people just packing the headiest nugs that they had, because he had the headiest piece on the lot, and there was 100,000 people there, so it was like people, when you have a nice piece, people want to put something nice in it.
Yeah,
and so
that's totally the case. But like,
how do you clean it though? Like, what was the best? Because you were just saying that, like, there's thousands of nooks and crannies in some of those.
So concentrate-wise, I mean, we have 99% alcohol. But these, there's like, we have a citrus-based cleaner for flour stuff that, like, I mean, even lemon juice, things like that will break it down. But
I've heard that. Do you add something to it? Lemon juice, and you heat it up or something? What did I hear?
I mean, but literally, alcohol and like some Epsom salt will clean most everything.
That's honestly what I use.
Yeah.
Like that's
couple days ago. Don't go buy 420 cleaner just because they have a pretty label on it. Like
just because it says it's for it.
Go get some alcohol and some salt.
Some high alcohol,
yeah, because like a lot of people talk about cleaner and there's opinions and all that stuff, but I really have had the best result with 90% and like fat salt chunks,
right?
Because you need the chunks to absorb so that the alcohol and bounce around with that.
And now we're getting to where like people won't even they'll only put distilled water in their pieces because you'll get hard water stains in there, and then then you got to go to like CLR, and you got to use all these cleaners and chemicals,
and then you're actually throwing a lot of chemicals in.
So it's rather just go buy $1 gallon of water, and you won't have because when the water starts to evaporate, you're gonna any water, Fayetteville water, whatever, you're gonna get a little calcium deposit in there, and you're gonna be like
you're gonna be bummed. Yeah.
You're not as mad when it's your $40 to $100 piece, but when it's your $10,000 piece, you're gonna be like, I do not like that water stain.
I ruined it. I ruined it. Yeah.
So distilled water is definitely.
But you said CLR will cut it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's options, but I mean, it's just like, just be preventative care.
Right.
I mean, and we have gallons of alcohol that we sell that our own label on them and all that stuff now, just because I mean, like we didn't run out of alcohol during COVID. Like we had it the whole time.
Oh wow!
Because
did not know that.
No, I mean,
had to have it.
Yeah. I mean, these people needed it, man. I mean, because it was just like they were talking about this being these other businesses being a medical business that were what's the word? They were anyway necessary, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna ride that because
We're gonna ride that
because like people that have insulin have to have a way to put it in it, you know. So people that this is just their way to put their medicine in.
Yeah, it's the not vehicle, but the what do you call it? Man, where am I going? Have I gone too far?
No, I think it's still down. It should be like let's see.
You post so much.
March of 2002 is if you see a date anywhere.
It doesn't. Instagram's pretty lame with the.
Yeah, they started making it hard to see the
old stuff.
Well, just like what you're. So
that was another class we did. So keep on going.
So it was after that. Okay.
Okay, so it's
that's
the class. I just don't see where I have the piece posted up because that's all the advertisement for the class. Huh.
So it would have been. It would have been.
It might have been right in there then. Huh.
I don't know what I'm looking for. So.
No, it's a big monstrosity with like sea creatures all over it.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it's gonna have the woman form in the middle of it, but I don't know where it's missing. That thing's got some bismuth on there. That's a local little collab. It's got see the little molecules in there. That guy Dan Hoffman's a master. He has like a magnifying glass that he works under with this little tiny torch. You see that little molecule on the side?
Yeah.
That thing is cool.
What the heck?
That's
and then
wild.
Whit V, he's another local that I've been working with for over a decade. He's great.
Man, all these locals.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So I said it's got like a little cabal here, man. Holy crap.
I don't know. We'll get that one out to everybody eventually. I don't know where the picture is. I have so many pictures of it, but
Well, it was funny because a couple people in the chat were like saying Ursula.
Right.
So I was like,
they know
maybe we should show it.
That class would have it, but I don't know where it.
I gotta look at this thing. I scrolled past this one twice.
Ursula,
this big yellow and orange thing here.
So that's that Evil Empire stuff again. That's
okay.
That's a little flower piece that he makes, but it's a double hybrid Eclipse, which the Eclipse is just the big doer joint, little ash catcher, and then it's got little cleaning, like you can unscrew the bottom of it. It's got a little Keck clip on there. I mean, he's a master when it comes to the science. Like I said, you know, every angle is like exact. Like
that's great.
He's sitting there with the calipers, even though he's made this piece 10 times. He's sitting there with the calipers measuring every one, looking back at his notes, making sure that it's perfect. So there's a art and a science, and then there's an art of science.
And you're playing with different percentages of them.
Right.
You know.
Holy crap.
Yeah. No, he makes
weird.
He makes science
Round
look
and round.
real good.
I love this comment right here. Price? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
Yeah.
Everybody's
And
asked.
like,
I've seen that
give
almost all
it.
the posts. It's like, how much did that go for? How much is that?
Well,
Yeah.
if it's still available, I respond real quick.
I'm a salesman.
You can ask these people. I respond to most messages most times of the day or night.
That's great.
You never know when it's that person. It's like,
No.
hot damn, I'm headed down.
No, I didn't used to quit selling till like 4 a.m. I mean, because like if you're talking to somebody, I mean, you don't know if they're in the West
time
Coast
zone,
or if they're in UK or what. I mean, you're just like they're feeling good right now. They like this piece. It's time to close the sale.
I wonder if I can find it through tagged, because I was finding some of the stuff from it a little more, like some of that stuff. I'm not sure.
Trying to think, because it would be. You could look under Hetty Seminar.
Bunch of greenery.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
right there.
There it is. Okay.
Holy crap.
Whoa. Going full screen for the audience. Here we go. What is happening?
So that thing-
Whoa.
I see all kinds of stuff hanging off of it.
So
It's like a shark.
Fish. It's an underwater thing, right?
I can't see. Is it blurry?
Yeah,
your direction?
it
Okay.
is. It's the projector screen, but the audience can see it crystal
Okay.
clear.
So Joe does a lot So Joe was living in Mexico scuba diving a lot at the time.
It's like a coral reef.
And there's like right here's a little sea turtle right here.
So he made all the sea creatures and was teaching people to do. I mean, so it basically got to where the students, next thing you knew, they went from sitting over here watching to, all right, here's your job. Start making this part. And then there's the faceting, which like all the little spines going down there. So there's 2 facet machines over there. So they're cutting the crystals, and
these crystals look insane.
So Adam, I think, was making, I mean, so like literally there was just an army of people, and it went from, like I said, to a class to hands-on. And, some of the people from the beginning were like, am I going to get to do anything? Well, next thing they knew, they got to work.
They were
3 days
a part of it. Yeah.
Now, that thing has got.
Make 20 of these.
There's some man, woman, people hours in that thing. And they took parts off. I mean, there were more parts that are just sitting around. I still got parts of that thing just sitting around. There was like 6 or 8 arms on it. They took some arms off.
Oh, that would be great.
But like, she's a beauty.
That's great. So where is this piece now?
Man, I think so. Banjo's doing a class, or no, doing an art show. I think tomorrow, 2 days from now. And,
Saturday, yeah.
And it's out in like Sierra Nevada somewhere. And I bet it's out there because he's just he wanted to take some of my pieces from like 2008 and just like show a broad spectrum of his work. But that's still probably one of the, he's done some pretty massive builds, but that thing turned out to be definitely one for the ages. And
so wild.
I don't know. I mean, I'd say that one's worth 150 or so too.
Yeah.
I mean, in the right group.
Yeah, the right buying group. The crystals are like mohawks or something.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
It almost looks like something, I mean, no diss here, but like something you'd put in the aquarium, but it's all already done up, like big time.
No.
Yeah,
so the fish could swim around it.
Or like when you'd put something in an aquarium for a long time and all like the barnacles have like attached to it and stuff.
All the stuff attached to it.
Yeah.
And so Joe, he's a really big artist too. He does a lot of honey stuff, a lot of bees. He does a lot of causes for the bees. But like I said, he'd been down in Mexico living for a while and was just scuba diving every day. So he came up and just started making everything he'd been looking at every day. So that was his inspiration. And then you got from somebody else that just
just all kinds of
they call it. He calls it a Devi, which is. One of these days we'll let him explain that to you. But
okay.
We'd been talking about these pieces forever because I was buying them and describing them, and we were talking about the tree of life and Mother Earth, and basically the branches and the roots connecting with the woman Mother Earth in the middle, and like that's kind of what they've evolved into. But so yeah, we. As somebody that's another one I've got. That one's a Joe and Banjo collab.
Yeah,
that
this one's in the shop, right?
Yeah, I have
both of these are in the shop.
Those are both of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of his work, and that was a class with Jakers that we did too, because he does a lot of fuming around here. He's another local artist.
Gotcha.
And then the fuming, that goes back to, we were talking about Snodgrass in the 70s and going to dead shows. And it was all the same.
I feel like that was the first term I ever learned about glass was fumed.
So
fumed?
Yeah.
The first term.
Yeah.
So the story is he accidentally got a piece of either silver or gold stuck, touched on the end of his rod, and he waved it in front of the flame, and then it just got onto the glass. And so it was an accident, really. And then now it's like one of the oldest techniques that everybody.
Yeah, standard practice.
This one's got gold and silver. You can see the gold in the end of it, but a lot of people, there's 24 karat gold in a lot of them, and silver in them. That the silver turns like blues and greens, and the gold turns like reds and oranges, and then those cross over, and you get the purple. So you can get the whole spectrum of the rainbow out of just silver and fume.
Right. Man,
I don't know.
House is killing me.
That doesn't
How
look
do you get tagged in so much flour?
I don't know. I was about to say that doesn't look like my page.
I know, it's funny because it's like, well, it's funny. It's people tagging the glass station.
Yeah, why would they do that?
It's
I
funny.
don't even know. Those are pretty flowers.
Pretty flowers.
There's another lace.
Whoa.
You can look at somebody.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the one that did the bonsai. I have more of her work too, but she's a beast. Like I said, she goes hard.
Wow.
And she does chandeliers for people, and Buck does that one
That
actually.
piece. Yeah, that was wild.
We photoed that one at the shop, but it's just really. I mean, I've got pieces right now that, because we do like payment plans and things like that, and so I've got pieces that I've never even shown before that are $15,000 pieces that are locked up waiting for somebody. I don't even want to show them because they're just now getting they've paid and paid on and they still owe on, and it's just like, but they'll come someday.
You do layaway? That's what it is, like a layaway?
Pretty much. And we've got Sezzle and whatever and different things, but like, and people ask like, what's your plan? What's your layaway plan? I'm like, well, you tell me how much you can put down and how long you're going to take to pay it off, and I'll see if that works. And they're like, okay.
You're like a bank loan manager as well.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I do the taxes and all that. I mean,
will you approve me? Will you approve me?
Will you approve me for this loan?
Yeah. No, I mean, people. So like, there's other people that like, they'll use me as like, they'll say, well, this person will vouch for me. I won't vouch for many people because like,
yeah.
I mean, but they'll be like, they'll be like, they'll say, well, somebody else will vouch for me on this piece.
You're a reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like a bank's reference.
And
yeah.
I'm like, but I won't do that for many people.
Yeah. they would have had to spend tens of thousands of dollars with you on a regular, consistent basis.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, like I know we're like peeking around the Instagram, but it's like I said, it's just like a fraction.
Yeah.
There's
like, I'm trying to, I don't even know how to like properly phrase it, where it's like we're looking at little pieces of it, but like when you go into the shop, it's like a piece here, and then there's like another piece right next to it, and then another piece right next to that, and another piece right next to that, and there's so many, and you're just like, oh, do you see that one, the third row back, second one from the left? Like you're like I've seen people do that countless times in your shop.
Right. No, I can see. I mean, whenever I'm looking or I'm standing behind there and somebody's looking, when I see them look, I can almost pick it without them trying to describe it. It's just like you've seen enough people look. You're like, oh yeah, I know what they're looking at.
That's great. I got a good question from the comments.
Look out!
This one's pretty good. What's it like to work for Wade?
Oh boy. I wonder who said that. So, my first thing is I would say that I would never ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, like, there's apartments that we've got back there too. So, I mean, I'm the first one to go back there and clean a toilet or jump in the. I mean, I want to be more like a family. Like, you're not going to work. You don't work for me. You work with me.
Sure.
Like we work together to do what we do.
Yeah.
If you don't have the passion to do it, you're not going to be there in general.
I would immediately say if you're working, if Wade is trusting you to work with him, you're being given the keys to something very special.
Oh yeah.
And that trust probably comes with a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And and like we don't. We're open. We're only closed, 2.5 days a year. We're going to be open on time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stay open till close because, like, if I go to a place and they're not open and they're supposed to be, like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm kind of that way.
No,
I'm like, I'm talking 10 seconds. Like,
yeah,
we need to be open.
If we're closing at 8, the sign goes off at 8.
So all those people know that's the number
deal.
one rule.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Don't be late.
Don't be late. Well, and yeah,
you can do a lot of things.
That's right.
But don't be late.
Don't be late. Yeah. What's that one thing? There's all the time in the world to be early for something, but it only takes 1 second to be late. But you know, also the thing I was gonna say too is that a businessman once told me that when it comes to, you know, customer retention, you really only have one shot to let them down, and if you let them down, you'll never get them back.
Oh, that's what I say. Is all we need is we just need them in here one time. Because if we can get them in there one time,
Then you got them for life.
I mean, because like on the snow day where nobody can get out, we're there. I mean, I've walked there before. You know, like we're gonna be open. I mean, because like the other day we were working on the power. We were in there with the lights out and flashlights. You know, like we're gonna be open.
Yep, that's great.
Like, if we have to show you around with
selling pieces with flashlights.
you know, I mean, if we can do it underneath the shade tree.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, we didn't have social media. We didn't have a credit card processor. We didn't have all that. I mean, like, this is
cake. This is the cake work.
Well, now it's just like it's just that there's a lot of competition, but like I don't really look at it that way either because we're just different. Like
totally.
we do what we do, they do what they do. Yeah, we know that everybody else wants to come and look what we do, but you know I'm like, you don't want to do it your way, you know, like your way is right, my way is right, but your way is right too. You trust, follow your path. Don't follow my path. Yeah, because you can't do that.
Right. Well, and also I would say, you know, I've looked at some of the other shops that have come around since because I mean, I call you the first, and I know you weren't the first. No. That's not it, but I feel like you're the first serious. It felt like the first real deal around here. Everything else was good attempts at it, but yours was the first one that I feel like hit top class. Yeah, and I mean, I get to say that. You don't have to say it. Don't worry about it.
Because I mean, yes, you have to survive. I've been telling Adam for 20 years. I mean, when he asks how things are going, I'm like, I'm keeping the lights on because I am. The doors are open, the lights are on.
Right.
You know, not too hot, not too cold, but like, it's not all about making all the money. It's just about doing something you love, and like, that's why I surround people with people that love the same thing. And like, you know, and if they come in, I want to like, if they want to take pictures, we're like, okay, let's show you, let me link you with somebody that I know that takes pictures or does videos, or if you want to blow glass, you get to blow glass. You know, if you want to make tools, you can do you know, like whatever you want to do, I want to push you in that direction because you're going to do better at something that you want to do than to something that I want you to do. So, you know, like, do what you love. If you love doing what I like to do, then we can do it together.
Well, and I, like you said, it's like that is the shared experience that when you were talking about being a family, because I would kind of like maybe pulling around to that question again, you know, like, you know, you're letting people in your family,
right?
You know, and that's just not an easy thing to do with somebody that you just met or something.
Oh yeah,
you know?
No, I watch them some of them for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they come in and out, and I mean, I kind of see the light in their eyes, and I'm like, okay, I see some of me in you. I know that you'll be all right here if you want to.
That's good. Yeah. You kind of see the potential in the person. Yeah.
We've got some rock stars. They always are. I mean, they're, you know, I guess I don't really come across shy. I never really have been shy. I joke about it, but it's just sarcasm. But like most people come in shy, you know, and I'm like, share your opinion, you know, share your information, share your knowledge, share your passion. That's what's gonna sell something. Like, because just because you say you like it, they might like it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because like I don't know if somebody that would be coming in just looking at themselves work in the shop as a salesperson.
No,
but it's like you are.
Right.
You are your liveliness, your experiences. Those are the things that are going to help when you're working the shop. That's what's going to sell.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody does it different. You know, like there's no two salespeople that are going to sell. And my old line used to be, do it the way I do it until you come up with your own way that's better, and
It's pretty good.
so, I mean, I would be in the back room and I would hear my exact words coming out of their mouth selling something. And then it would like evolve a little bit. And
dude.
then the next thing you know, it would be like
That's freaking
they're
beautiful.
running their game. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad you're doing it your way now, because my way wasn't necessarily the best. It was just what you needed to do until you had a better way.
No, it's fair. I love it, dude. I might steal that.
Yeah.
I might steal that. Man, big props to everybody hopping in the chat. Wade pulled them out. You got them out of their chairs.
Well, I needed more than 20 minutes to give them the link.
I know. But no, some people came in. We had a very very lively chat, so it was a good time. Bunch of people came for your support. So
I was trying to get it out to him. We would have got a couple hundred on there. Hopefully.
we'll do another one. And
so
maybe
this is like the 15th year anniversary one. I mean, we haven't gotten to so many things, but
let's. So I did want to talk about, like, 'cause we're getting close to the end. We're not at the end yet.
Sure.
Anniversary of the shop. That's something that one of the reasons that we even scheduled this episode was because the anniversary is coming up.
Right. So it's basically next week, but I think we're going to do a little event. It's kind of like a little underground. Nobody knows where it is yet but me, kind of thing. And, we're going to have little goodie bags that are going to be worth at least what you're paying or more for it, and there'll be food and it'll be a good time. And, we'll have drops like every week through the rest of the year of some Toro, some other, I mean, I won't list off all of them just because I like to tease everybody slowly.
Yeah.
And let it trickle out.
Make it be fun.
Yeah.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, when I say that 15 years to people and they're like, wow,
congratulations,
but to me, just as far as I'm concerned, it's still 1999.
Yeah. It started yesterday.
It hasn't been that long, has it?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still, and I was talking about somebody being a rookie the other day because they were just doing some little funny moves, and I'm just I'm still a rookie. I'm still learning,
I'm that same dude.
Like these people that work with me, I'm like, I learn from them just as much as they learn from me. I mean, they might be less than half my age, but like, I still learn a lot, and if you're not learning and teaching all the time, then you're not doing your duty. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You're getting behind, because like, if you think you're not going to learn from somebody else, then that's a resource you're not tapping into that's like full of knowledge and full of information and has a whole different demographic and information than you ever think. And like, they'll say something that, I've been doing for 30 something years, and I'm just like, I never thought of that. It's like, it's great
never too young to learn.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just a youngster.
Yeah, and then I think that hopefully that's like a good, sentiment to send out to people that maybe want to come work at the shop.
Yeah.
You may think that this is something that is unobtainable and with people that are just way beyond you, but in reality, you're going to come join a family. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to be able to add your influence into the world, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, it's not about me. It's about the community. It's about all of us. I mean, if we're not, I can't do it by myself. They can't do it by themselves. We have to do it together, and we don't have a big crew.
Yeah.
And I don't like a big crew. I want it to be tight and right.
Family. Family, dude.
That's right. I mean, and I tell them, totally they get it after a minute, but when I say that, I'm like, I don't think they understand that they're family, and I don't think they understand how that much that means to me.
Yeah, because like we said earlier, it's not anybody that could just walk in the door and this could be gifted to.
Because back when we started playing this game, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just they just think it's all free.
Frills.
And everybody can
hook a brother up.
Anybody can come over, and everybody can come to your house, and everything.
Right.
But that's not how it used to be.
Right.
No,
it was much more secretive and much more closed circuit.
Right.
And
I still like that side of it a little bit, but I also like to share it with the world at the same time.
Well, I think the proof's in the pudding because like your shop is a gallery, and that's like another thing. I think just go check it out.
Right.
Like go stop by.
Right.
Like because you're literally gonna see some stuff that guaranteed you've never seen.
Even if you were there yesterday. I mean, I'm serious.
I know. No, I know. I know this. I know how hard you go on buying.
Yeah. If I could sell as much as I buy, I'd be in good shape.
He busted himself, ladies and gentlemen. That's his number one issue is he buys way too much.
Yeah.
Got a buying problem?
He does. He does.
I've had worse problems though.
Yeah, right. This is a much safer investment.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe in it.
Yeah. No, and I want others to believe in it too. So like, and you're not gonna believe until you go see it. It's just the facts. I mean, I've been to many glass shops in the country, and I've never been blown away ever. At your shop, many times over.
It's funny because there's people that live down the block on Maple Street, and they've been coming for 10 years, and then they're like, I'm gonna go to Hollywood and check out a shop here.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're like, man, I didn't realize.
I didn't
what
realize.
I had on my street.
Go check it out and come back and see me.
Yeah, and tell me if you think the same.
And that's not me patting myself on the ass. I mean, that's just people who's like,
it's honest. It's genuine.
Stuff. Go look, because I go look. I know what's out there. I don't go to other shops. I mean, but you're talking about the one thing that made me think of when you're talking about the pieces side by side. Is like, I had a friend of mine out in Orange County that had a shop, and I thought my stuff was packed in tight, but she had this shop in what was it? One Stop Smoke Shop in Orange County.
Love the name.
And she had twice as much stuff in the amount of space that I did, and like, they were backwards in there. I mean, it was just like
to where you couldn't even see one piece from another piece.
No, I mean, I was just like, man, this makes me feel so much better about mine because like I thought I had it overcrowded, but it's nice to know that
somebody else is worse.
They do it worse.
It can be done. That it can be done worse.
It can be worse.
That's funny. Well, I'll shout out a couple more people in the chat. Let's see. Badass Smoke 420. The glass station is so dope. One of the.
He just got a little tube from it. Little lamp tubes.
One of, if not the best shop in Arkansas.
What else is going on in Arkansas? I need to go look.
All right. One of. Let's see. Fairy Boots been active in the chat. Appreciate it. Strange Brew Creations. Much love to Wade in the glass station.
Oh, Fairy Boots. I probably
I think I know who that is.
Her one of her first pieces, and I know I took her to her first Panic show, but I don't know if I got her first piece of glass or not. We'll have to check that.
Have to verify the facts on that one.
Fact check that information.
Gibby High. Oh, what is this? What is he talking about? Have you ever considered opening up a gallery in another location?
So, I think that it's better to do one shop good than to do two shops halfway.
There you go.
Yeah, totally.
But it's not saying it won't happen.
Right.
It's saying we run it right and tight, like I'm saying. And if we spread it out, then we're gonna.
Is it gonna be as tight?
There's a there's a term something of economics. I'll come back to that name.
Gotcha.
But basically, there's a potential that you're just going to lower your not your value, but your, what's the word for it?
I'm on track.
Right. But basically, I would rather do one right than to do two halfway.
Right.
When it comes down to it, I mean, like, are they saying that this isn't a gallery?
No. I think what they were saying was like, could you reach further to like Little Rock or something? Because there may be some people that may just not want to make that heavy of a trek often.
Yeah. No, I mean I got folks that drive up from Little Rock all the time and scoop pieces. I mean I got people that drive from Nebraska. I got people that fly from Jersey and
Yeah.
Cali. And
I would say if they're coming to get a $4,000 or $6,000 piece,
they'll make the drive.
they can drive or
they'll
fly.
make the drive.
For Christ's sake.
I mean, or I'll overnight it or whatever. But I mean, like, or I'll fly out that way, you know. But like, I understand. I mean, like, Little Rock. I mean, there's places that need them in the state for sure.
Right.
I mean, and
Well,
I could fill it with what I got in the back room.
No, I was getting ready to say that. I was like, the one thing that you have like a definite is inventory.
Yeah.
So like, I knowing you, I know that you could stock another shop.
Oh yeah.
I just know.
And that means there's like more family that I have to
manage,
incorporate and like do some of the family that's here go there. I mean, because it's not going to be somebody that hasn't
brand new
been around.
Yeah, you meet on the other side of the state and say, hey, you want to run it?
Yeah. I mean, they've got to literally be, I mean, they're an extension of me and I'm an extension of them.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's not easy.
I would rather do it. I would rather do this one right.
Right.
I mean, you know, it may happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it may happen tomorrow. I might, like, go to sleep at night and be like, it's time.
All right, it's time.
I mean, that's how it goes.
I know, and I think that one thing that's I have noticed with like we have a friend, Core Board Shop in Oklahoma. They recently opened another location, and one of the things that I've heard from them is that they do inventory back and forth. So they'll go and they'll bring some to Oklahoma City, some to
fresh.
Tulsa, and then just moving around so that at least the shop just is rotating.
Oh yeah,
rotating inventory.
I mean, but we could rotate a couple cases in there, and like
nobody'd even know.
They would think everything is brand new.
Brand new.
They still think it's every time people come anywhere, they still think it's brand new.
And even if it's not a perception thing, I don't want people to think that you're trying to like smoke screen them. It's more like here's some new stuff to look at.
Right.
One of the things that I remember about you flipping cases, and I helped on some of those, was seeing something new, because you'd a piece could be there for a year,
right?
And you just never like saw it in the right light, and then the case flip happens, it's somewhere else, and maybe it's just like opened up just a little bit more,
right.
And you're like, hey, what's that? And you're like, I've had that for years. What
like dog, you saw that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I could have sold that too. Yeah.
I still have a really nice display in the front window that somebody built for me in like 14 years ago. Didn't you build that?
I do remember that.
How long ago was that?
that was a while ago, but I do remember that.
Yeah,
it's still there.
It's still there. It looks great.
That's great. Forgot.
That's funny.
I just remembered that.
Yeah. Well, and it was I remember it was the same problems. It was just like, where do we put all this stuff? I
have those problems every day.
Still have the problems every day.
I wish I could. I always want more room, but then I'm just like, if I had more room, I would just pack more stuff in. So
right.
It's like no matter how much room there is, I'm always going to fill it that tight.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just.
It's
part
like
of my,
having
that's what I was thinking about the lady you saw or whatever, that other shop, and I was like, you're like, I'm a collector. She's a hoarder. And then, if you had more space, you'd have more stuff.
Yeah.
She was a good girl.
That's cool. Well, I feel like we covered a lot. What's next for the shop? Like, in your mind, we posed a bunch of like proposal, but like, what do you think you're headed towards?
I mean, we just want to perfect like the things that we do first, and then it's once again, it just goes back to education, I think. And then it's like, the more I sit around and tell the stories of all this to people, I mean, there's people that want me to write books and want me to do documentaries, and because I do have 30 years in it, but it's just like, okay, what do I want to put it into? And we're going to have a little pop-up, a little show, a little sesh, but just more of that. I mean, and it's art, so there's like a never-ending, I mean, I've got a full-blown studio that I just, we'll probably have more classes. I mean, there's just, I don't even know. Like I said, it'll be one of those things I'll be laying in bed at night and like pop up and be like, oh, that's what we're doing
today. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah, I like that.
It's
that's great.
I mean, like, you ask me my 5-year plan, I might not know. You ask me my 5-minute plan,
I might know that
yeah.
one. I might know that one.
You're like, whatever I stumble across or whatever I think up is my 5-year plan.
I wake up every day and it's just like, what am I going to do today? You know, it's like, I'm happy to be here. It's a great day. I'm alive. I'm not. I've been in bad places. I'm in a good place. You know, like, I want everybody around me. I want to bring them up. I want them to be in a good place. They are. I mean, we all are learning a lot together. But like I said, it's just kind of a one day at a time thing.
No, that's great.
I literally will not know until I'm doing it.
No, well.
And like this, the funny thing is about this little 15-year little gathering is like, end up having this spot that was available that popped up, and I'm like, okay, how do I need to do this? How do I need to fill this? How do I need to fill that void and flow? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Here's that.
And just like,
Here's
this is
that.
what we're doing.
And we're going to do
boom,
that.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom. I hit up 20 people, and like, this is what's happening.
That's
falls
great.
right into place.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just how you
naturally.
planned it.
Naturally.
And that's just how it's supposed to go.
It is. No, and I think that
You overthink something, you might not do it right.
that's true.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm going to attribute a little bit of it to where we're at, because I think that, you know, in our brand, it's like part of our motto. It's like living naturally is part of like living with this world. And it's like, I think that what you're doing is just being reactive. Like, you're just reacting naturally to this journey that you're on.
Yeah. Just growing and flowing, and it's just I don't know. I guess it's an evolution, but
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here.
I don't think any of us knows really.
I'm glad to be here though.
Yeah, I think we show up.
Like, oh, you got it figured out? No, I don't got it figured out. No.
Not even close.
No. But I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gonna be here tomorrow? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I'll see you
All right,
tomorrow.
We're good then.
That's great. Well, Wade, man, I really appreciate you coming out to the studio, hanging out with us,
Stoked.
showing us some pieces, talking shop with us.
Now that we broke the ice after you were in my back room and we didn't do it there.
Right, I know. Well, I mean,
now I'm getting T-shirts made and you're not making them, and
I know.
I mean, now we could have been pressing with squishing stuff.
We probably
with that
would've-
T-shirt press.
I probably would have had a lot more work on my hands, I imagine.
Oh yeah, there's always work.
You
to
keep
be
a
done.
man. You keep a man working.
There is work to do.
No, it's good though, because it's forward progression, and I mean, like, you know, I guarantee we hit end on this this stream here, and we're gonna probably talk about a couple plans, because we're movers and shakers.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how it goes. But all right, man. Appreciate you, everybody in the chat. Brad, co-hosting. Wade, hanging
Thanks for being
out.
here on time. I
Yeah,
appreciate
you tried. He tried, gents.
I'm about to look for some property out here.
Yeah, and then he's going to be on the show a lot more often.
All the time.
All the
Yeah.
time. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.